Hello, my friends, and welcome to Berry Aftercare, the podcast or the video, wherever you happen to be listening or watching this. Ah, I am Dr. Connie Stapleton, freshly back from vacation, and so my brain isn't quite working correctly yet, but here we are. And I have a great message for you this week on Berry Aftercare. I did some reading while on vacation, and one of the books that I started to read was Atomic Habits. And I'm telling you, this was not a book that I intended to read, but I found a part in here. Well, the reason I read it is because I had a patient share with me that she had read the book and yet she was struggling to put in to place some of the things she had learned from the book. And I thought, I want to find out about this book myself. So I did. And there are a couple of things from this book that I absolutely want to share with you. And one of them, it's like, wow, okay, for me, this is the bottom line of all bottom lines. It's not that you probably haven't heard this before, but I think you need to hear it again. And you're not going to hear it today. But if you listen in on Thursday, you will hear it. But today, there's something that needs to be said before the bottom line of bottom lines. And that is about the system that you need to put in place to reach your goals. We talk about goals all the time. All the time, we talk about goals. I was in sales before I went back to school to be a psychologist, and I would listen to a lot of, at the time, don't laugh, cassette tapes in my car, which were the thing at the time, about sales training and positive thinking and your goals. And there was a sales guru back in the day, and you may have heard of this person named Zig Ziglar, but maybe not, because the guy is since passed. And he was a brilliant, brilliant man. And he was fun to listen to because he had this deep, like Texas accent. But he would say forever, you gotta have goals. And that's kind of how he would say it. You gotta have goals. So goals are extremely, extremely important. I've done videos and podcasts and talks about the importance of having goals. You've probably heard a lot about from the dietitian and the bariatric surgeon about what's your goal weight, what are your goals, let's start with small goals and your first goal and what are your longer term goals. Regardless of what you have shared with the various people in the process of getting to surgery, or if you've already had surgery, hopefully you're still setting goals, is that the long term goal for all of this weight loss, the bariatric surgery, is to maintain a healthier weight. You want to maintain your health. You don't want to just get your health back, but you want to maintain it. You don't want to just get to a clothing size that's fun to wear. You want to stay in a clothing size that's more fun for you to wear, less expensive too. You want to get to a place where you can do more of the things that you enjoy in life, but you want to stay at a place so you can continue to do the things you want to do in life and do those things with the people you want to do them with. So the long term goal is really important. The problem with weight loss, and historically, if you've lost and gained, lost and gained, lost and gained, if you heard me, you have heard me say this before. A lot of people set the goal for a weight, and whether, sometimes they reach that goal weight, sometimes they don't. If they don't, then we got a whole new problem of reinforcing this negative thought, this negative identity, which, by the way, here's a foreshadowing spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about this identity a lot on Thursday. It's not something you want to miss because to me and to the guy who wrote this book, Atomic Habits, which is his name is James Clear, is really the bottom line in all of this, in establishing habits, in reaching your goals, all of it. It's about how you see yourself. So there's your spoiler alert for Thursday. But today we're going to talk about goals and why they're important, but they're not the most important way. They're not the most important thing along the journey to getting to where you want to be. So let's talk about what is maybe a little more important. And I'm going to share from you parts of this book, Atomic Habits, And when I heard the name Atomic Habits, I thought it was going to be like explosive, like an atomic bomb, right? But no, no, no. He's talking about tiny little pieces of habits. You maybe have heard of the book Tiny Habits, which is also very good. But this book is called Atomic Habits, and he's talking about the atom sized pieces, tiny, tiny pieces of little habits. Because the problem with a lot of us, maybe you included, is that you want to get these instantaneous results. It's partly a product of the world we live in, right? We have easy access to so much, and we have smartphones, and we can Google anything, and we can get an instant response. We're all about that instantaneous answer or that instantaneous result. And when we have weight loss surgery, it's the closest thing you can get to in terms of, that instant gratification of all the weight loss methods, right? But if that's what you're going for and that's only what you're going for, I think you're going to miss the boat. Really want to think in terms of long lasting weight loss, long term, lifelong lifestyle adjustments, changing how you live, changing how you think, changing how you go about the business of life. And in order to do that, you do need to establish some habits. But what I'm going to talk to you about today from this book, Atomic Habits, is how James Clear says, he started to realize that reaching his goals, getting the results he wanted in whatever it was he was doing, had very little to do with the goals he set. Whoa, that's an interesting point because we focus so much on goals and what are your goals and what are your goals and how do you plan to reach those goals? And are they SMART goals? Are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they attainable? Are they realistic? Are they time framed? We focus a lot on goals and teaching people about goals. Yes, goals are important, but what he's saying is he realized that no matter what area in his life he was trying to get somewhere new in, trying to reach some kind of results, it wasn't the goals that were as important as the system he used to reach those goals. Well, what does that mean? And what does that have to do with weight loss surgery and what we're talking about here? So he says goals are about the results you want to achieve, right? So your goal is I want to get to this weight. I want to get to this size. I want to get to a place where I can, keep up with my grandkids, or I can go to the theme park with my friends or my kids, or I can, walk from the car to the ball field or the recital performance site, or I can go on the airplane and not use an extender, or I can travel more easily by plane, by train, by automobile, however you want to get there, right? Or you can go, you can do, you can live, you can do your daily hygiene habits much more easily, all of those things. So the goals are about these results. But he says, how you get to the results is about the system in place, the process that leads to those results. So here's some examples that he uses, and they're really really smart. He says if you're a coach, your goal might be to win the championship. All right, kids, we're going to go out there. The Braves, they're going to be in the World Series. The goal is to win the championship, the World Series, right? But the system to get there, to reach those goals, in this case, would be how you practice, how you manage and assist your coaches, and how you conduct your practices. So it's how you go about what is your system to reach the goals, which is to win the championship in this case, if you're the coach. Now, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, your goal, and this is an example in the book Atomic Habits, he says, might be to build $1 million business. So I'm the entrepreneur, this is my goal. The system is what you put in place to reach the goal. So it's how you test your product ideas, how you hire your employees, how you run your marketing campaigns. And he gives one more example. And I want to share these with you because it really makes sense. And then we'll take this information, we'll put it in terms of your bariatric experience. He says if you're a musician, your goal might be to play a new piece of music. But your system, the system to get to be able to play this new piece of music beautifully, without flaws, without making mistakes, how often you practice, how you break down and tackle difficult measures in the music, and what your method is from getting feedback from your instructor, from other people to make it the best it can possibly be. So let's put this in terms of your bariatric journey. Your goals: lose weight, wear more fun clothes, be able to engage in life more fully, be able to take care of your hygiene, be able to do things you want to do long term. So, what are the systems that you're going to put in place to achieve your goals? So, what this author is saying, and I fully subscribe to, is that the system, how you get there, is the only thing that's going to lead you to your goals. You can have your goal, but if you don't have a system of getting there, then how are you going to do that? So, in Berry Aftercare, there are several of us who help you to learn about what your system needs to be. Taylor, the dietitian, or the dietitian in your program, gives you a very, very important system. I refer to the dietary process after you're back on full foods, after you've gone through the liquid stage and the full liquid stage and the soft food for the rest of your life. The system, I call it the bariatric basics of eating, and that is: eat every 3 to 4 hours, always eat protein first, eat a healthy balance of fruits, vegetables, and the really healthy, nutritious carbs. Stay away from most of the processed foods and the junk. Yeah, you can have that stuff on limited occasion, but it can't be the mainstay of your meal. So, your bariatric basics when it comes to eating is the system you go about to reach your goals in terms of your diet, right? Another system that I talk a lot about that I created is called the Gotta Do'ems. Some of them are related to your dietary, like getting a lot of water, taking your vitamins, getting enough sleep, making sure that you do eat every 3 to 4 hours, follow the eating system that's been put in place with you. Get help if you need it from a coach, like a life coach, who can help you set goals and build systems, or from a personal trainer who can help you develop a system of exercise specifically geared toward bariatric needs, which is why I have Julia Karlstad, who is an exercise physiologist, do a video for us every month to help you learn. Her first video was about how to burn fat. You don't want to burn your muscles as you're losing weight, which is going to happen anyway. You want to build those muscles and burn the fat. So you have to have a system by which to do that, right? And then you have to have a system for meeting your emotional and psychological needs. There is a lot of changes that happen. So, one of the ways you can do that are by listening to the bariatric videos and listening to the podcast, the Bari Aftercare podcast. There are also other podcasts available to you. Um, Bariatric Success, which is um, oh gosh, Susan Mitchell. She has a 10-minute dietary podcast that you can listen to every week. So there are a lot of things out there for you, but you have to devise your system. Like every Monday, I'm going to listen to a podcast. Every Tuesday, I'm going to read something about what I heard on the podcast on Google. Every Wednesday, I'm going to see my therapist or my life coach. Have a system in place. Every Thursday, I meet with my personal trainer, and the rest of the week, I implement the skills they give me. What is your system? So, the system is how you reach your goals. So, James Clear in the book Atomic Habits says, are goals useless? Of course not, right? Goals are good for setting a direction. This is where I'm headed. I'm headed to a weight below 200 pounds, below 175, whatever it happens to be. I'm headed to a size 14 or a size 18 or whatever your goal size happens to be I'm headed toward being able to walk 3 miles 3 days a week. Whatever your goal is, those are great. You have to have those. Those set your direction. But your system is the best thing for making progress. Your system, and here's where the problems arise. It's when you spend too much time thinking about the goals, but not designing the system. So your system, I have the gotta do ums laid out on a sheet. Every gotta do 'em Monday through Sunday. And you can print it out. It's a way to look at it. It's a checklist. You don't have to do it perfectly, but it helps you design your system. Your system for bariatric eating has been spelled out for you. The system is eat every 3 to 4 hours, start with protein, no snacking mindlessly, um, eating protein first, making sure you get enough water, don't drink with your meals. It's set out for you. Those are your systems. So he goes on in this same chapter, you know, he says winners and losers. This is so fascinating. Winners and losers have the same goals, right? So both teams going to the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, wrong season. Sorry about that, Braves. Going to the World Series have the same goal, right? They both want to win. So they both have the same goal. Now, people who are successful long term with weight loss surgery and those who regain their weight started with the same goals, right? Better health, being able to do these things, da 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 da. Da. So it's not the goal that differentiates between who wins the World Series, who keeps their weight off, and who doesn't. So, what is it? It's when you've designed a system to get you there and you implement that system a little bit at a time and you just stick with the moment. I've set up my system. I exercise on my way home from work. So then I have to stick to that system. Now, that can be difficult, leads to different things. But the point for today is this is about designing a system that's going to lead you to your goals. Your goals are the direction you want to go in. The system is going to get you there. The other thing he points out brilliantly, so keep this in mind though, the first point, those who succeed and those who don't succeed have the same goals. So it is not the goals that get you there. Both the Braves and whoever it is they're playing, which I don't know because I live in Atlanta. I do know they beat the Patriots, which was sort of a little issue in my extended family because one grandson clearly for the Patriots, the other one, everybody else in the family's for the Braves. Anyway, the Braves are playing somebody, and both teams want to win. They both have the same goal. The systems they put into place and how well they follow their systems are going to lead one to that victory. Those who have weight loss surgery have the same goals, generally speaking, right? The ones who develop a system and stick to it are going to be the ones who live that new healthy lifestyle for a lifetime. They get beyond just what the goal is, which is his second point. Here's another problem. Achieving a goal is a momentary change, right? It's for a moment. You're left chasing the same goal forever and ever. How many times have you gained and lost weight? What's been the goal? I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to get to this dress size. I want to get to that size. And then you did it and you quit because you reached the goal. It's a momentary thing. And so many people tell me when they reach that goal weight, then they just give it all up. They quit. It's over. It's done. That is one reason that it's important to have ongoing goals because they continue to provide the direction that you're going in. But it's more important to have the system that gets you there, right? So you use the system. If you don't develop the system, you're less likely to reach the goal. So that's one of the more counterintuitive things, right? About setting goals is because they're just a momentary thing. You get to the goal weight, then what? Right? You need to change the results If you're overweight, you want to get to this weight, but that's not the problem. You really need to change the system that caused the problem, right? Because the system you had before with your eating, with your exercise habits, with your thinking, your mindset is what got you to that place, right? The system you had in place, which was made up of small habits, right, is what needs to change. You want to get to a different place, you have to apply a different system. So he says when you solve problems at the results level, you only solve them temporarily. But if you want to improve for the long haul, for good, you need to solve problems at the systems level, right? So he says fix the inputs, the system, what you're doing, and the outputs will fix themselves. So what I have shared with people so often, and it rings true right now for me, is quit thinking about that goal weight. That goal weight is so not within your control in the first place, right? Because we all know the disease of obesity is super complicated, and there are a lot more things than your height and that ideal weight that go into where you're going to end up. So put the effort into the systems, the eating system, the exercise system, the mental health system, your support group system, meaning when do you go to support group meetings, who are in your support group, and how often do you check in with your mentors, all those things, those are your systems. If you continue to do your systems over time, the result will take care of itself. You will get to your body's healthiest weight given all of the complicating factors related to the disease of obesity. Goals, also, he says, another problem with goals only is that they restrict your happiness, right? Stay with me on this, right? So many people, and you probably have yourself, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, have thought to yourself, when I get to a size whatever, I'll be happy. When I get to a weight, whatever, I'll be happy. Not everybody, but enough people have told me this is true that I know it's common in the weight loss world. And I shared with you not too long ago, and I'm going to bring her on here to share in her own words, that my good friend Kelly Gunter, when she did her bariatric evaluation with the psychologist, sat there, looked the guy straight in the face, and he said, "You know, this isn't going to solve all of your problems." And out of her mouth, she said, "I know it won't." And she said in her brain, she was hearing, "Oh, yes, it will." And so many people think when I reach the goal, I'll be happy. The problem with thinking of the goals first, having a goals first mentality, as James Clear says, is that you're continually putting your happiness off until you get there. It's like, I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I have children. I'll be happy when I get divorced. I'll be happy when I get the degree. I'll be happy when hell freezes over. I don't know. But what about the 4 or 6 or 10 or 12 years it takes to get that degree? What about the year or 2 it takes to get to that weight or that size? What about, you know, the 2 years before the wedding? What about the 4 years before you have planned that first child? What about the 2 years it takes in some states to get that divorce? Are you gonna put off your happiness for those huge chunks of time? Or are you going to put in a system to get you where you wanna be? The goal is the direction, right? And choose happiness along the way. Hmm. The other thing he says, James Clear in Atomic Habits, is goals create an either or conflict. Either you achieve the goal and you're successful, or you fail to achieve the goal and you're a disappointment. This is tragic. And I really, really hate this for people. And that is why I really, really encourage people set aside the goal weight. Do what you're supposed to do on a consistent basis for the rest of your life, and you will get to where your body is going to go, given your particular dynamics, right? But if you have a systems first mentality, I have the goal, it's providing the direction, but I'm paying attention to my systems because that's what's going to get me there. And if I pay attention to my systems, it's every day. It's not 4 years in the future or 2 years or 6 years or 12 years. It's today. I'm going to pay attention to what I do. Did I do more of my gotta do's than not today? Did I exercise more of, the week, more days of the week than not? That's my system. Did I eat my protein first? Not drink with meals? Eat every 3 to 4 hours? That's today. And if I focus on the system rather than when I achieve the goal, right? You're going to get excited about the process because you can motivate yourself. It's like, wow, I followed my system for eating healthy today. Wow, I followed my gotta do 'em system today. I'm so excited because I followed my exercise system today. So I'm satisfied with what I did today. I'm satisfied with what I did at lunch. I'm satisfied with what I did with my workout time today, right? And this system can be successful in a lot of ways, not just with the end result or that long term goal, which is another problem, he says, with goals. Goals are at odds with long term progress, right? The goal oriented mindset can create this yo yo effect, right? Think about it. The examples he gives here are runners who work hard for months and months and months, and they train and they train and they train for months. And as soon as they cross that finish line, and for some people on a weight loss journey, as soon as they hit that goal weight, they stop. The training is over, the race is over, the goal weight is met. There's nothing left to motivate you, right? So if you're focusing only on a particular goal, danger, danger related to goal weight. I'm just saying. What happens after you achieve it? So, so many people, runners, people who are on a diet, revert to their old habits, the old system. Where did that old system take you? Not to a good, healthy place, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. The purpose of setting goals is to win the race, win the game, get to the goal weight, whatever it is. But the purpose of building the system is to continue playing the game. So after the Braves win the World Series this year, sorry, then they continue to use their system so that they're ready for next season. They use their system to get where they're going. So when you make your goal weight, even though I hope you don't have one, but you reach a place where you're feeling good and you're wearing clothes that you enjoy and you're doing things that you love and you're, keeping up with the family on vacation, then your system is in place and you continue it so you can continue to enjoy those things, right? So you want to continue playing the game. True long term thinking, in the words of James Clear in the book Atomic Habits, is goal less thinking, not setting goals. It's not about any single accomplishment, not about one game, not about a goal weight, not about a size, not about a trip. It's about the cycle of endless refinement, making the system better and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it's your commitment to the process, to this, this system that you've put into place. That's your process that will determine your progress. It's your commitment to your system. It's your commitment to this process of getting there that will determine your progress. So if you never quit the system, you will continue to enjoy the progress. So I hope this really helps you to understand that it's not about the goal. Goals are important, they set a direction, but it's what you do in this system, this process every single day that not only gets you to that goal, but keeps you going so it gets better and better and better and allows you to continue the joy of living that way. So these systems that you put in place are little bitty habits, right? Focusing on this overall system rather than the single goal is one of the core themes of this book, Atomic Habits, right? And the atomic habit is a tiny change, right? It's eating the protein first instead of the healthy carb. It's eating 3 or 4 times a day instead of skipping all those meals and just eating once. It's the little bitty marginal things that add up. They build your system. So he says the meaning of atomic habits is a regular practice, a regular routine, a system of small and easy things to do, but also is incredibly powerful. And it's going to lead you to long term progress, continuous long term progress. And that's pretty darn awesome, right? So focus on the system, focus on what you're doing today. When we hear a lifestyle change, that's what we're talking about. It's a system of living, it's a system of eating. And when you sign up for bariatric surgery, it's a choice. It's a choice you are making. And that involves making a commitment to these systems that we're teaching you to put in place to give you the long term benefits to your healthier, happier life. So it's up to you this day, every day. It's your health, it's your responsibility. So I really hope this has helped you. And I thank Mr. James Clear for this book. I would suggest that you read it and think about everything he's saying in terms of this long term journey of healthy living at a healthy weight for your body. Now, on Thursday, I'm going to give you what to me, forever since I've been doing bariatric work, which has been well over 15 years, is the bottom line of it all. So I hope you will join me. If you're not part of Bari Aftercare, the full program, go to www.bariaftercare.com and become part of this. You have access to 2 to 3 videos a week because I do 2 every week. And then one of the other people that are in the dietary world, the exercise world, and um, the world of your whole family's involved in this process, right? That's Dana Ross, and she talks about involving the whole family in this process and what it's like to be a support person. So involve your family members in listening to this, and then a lot of times there will be a worksheet involved associated with the talk. So you get those in Berry Aftercare. So looking forward to that, and take this information to your friends and your Berry Aftercare or your bariatric program, because your bariatric program can buy this. So every single person in the program has access to this information. All right, but for you, thank you. Thank you for joining me today, and implement a system for your long term success. Pleasure to be friends with you. And I enjoy every time I get to interact with patients, and you give me the information that I need to help myself and to help one another. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. See you next time on Bari Aftercare.